Food.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to more Moms of Real Estate. So happy to be here. Sorry I wasn't here last week. I heard the conversation was amazing. So excited to be here with Melissa and Stephanie. Becca is taking the day off because she is doing Christmas stuff. She is taking a day off for her family and just going all in with her family. I almost thought about doing the same thing, but I miss you ladies so much.
We missed you too.
I know. It's so nice to see that you're settled and like you have decorations up, like you're killing this move.
I know, it feels so good. So I'll pretend to be Becca today. So let's talk about how we're feeling this week. How was last week? Where are we? Melissa, why don't you start?
Right on. Well, I'm still like riding the positive train. I've been just feeling good. Yeah. Choo, people. I've been feeling really good, and it feels so amazing after so long of just being like bleh about everything and just having so many challenges. Like I just really feel like something shook loose for me finally, and I feel good, and things are going well. I listed a property. I've got multiple offers on it, so that's exciting. We picked up another one, the lease option. Why am I drawing a blank on this? I do this all the time. Lease back is up, I believe, this week. And so that'll be a project I'll be able to get started on. Coaching's going well. I've got 2 new clients for that. So yeah, I just like my Christmas shopping's done. Everything's wrapped and hidden. Yeah, I just feel like I'm winning at life for a minute.
That is awesome.
So about what number would you say you're at?
I'm like a solid 9 right now.
Yeah.
Good.
I was living at like a 2.5 for like a year. So this is really good for me.
Nice. I wonder what it would take to like pop you over to the 10.
I don't know. Christmas magic.
Let's give everyone who's watching, all you amazing people, let's give some Melissa a 10 for Christmas.
Yes, a 10 for Christmas would be amazing.
Miss Stephanie, how are you doing?
I'm doing really good. It's been bustling. I feel like this is like the last week or two I've been bustling around trying to get things situated. You know, everybody wants to get stuff done by Christmas and the holidays and stuff. So I kind of feeling that same kind of spirit. Like I'm ready to slow down now and stop with all the presents and the mail and the Christmas cards and like all the things, you know, and the business stuff, trying to get all that stuff settled, thinking about, you know, setting annual planning meetings. And, you know, I feel like it's like the wrap up time of year. So, but I'm really happy. I feel like I've got some good momentum, and like, I'm super proud of like the Left Main stuff and how that's going. And we just had this big integration launch that went well. And I just feel like that's going so well. It's giving me a lot of like joy and life. And it's like the system stuff and like the nerd stuff, all the things I like are coming together in that one thing. So I'm like really happy. I think I'm like a 9.5.
Nice.
I'm still like a little overextended right now. Like I need to have a little bit more space in my life. And I missed my yoga class this morning because I had a meeting that started literally the minute that it ended. And I was like, oh, I did not plan that appropriately. So I lost half a point for that, for sure.
Lost half a point for yoga. That's okay. I can see that happening. Tell us a little bit about Left Main for any of the listeners that are not do not know that. Give us a little bit.
Sure. So Left Main REI is a Salesforce app. It's a CRM it's powered by Salesforce. Salesforce asked me to partner with them so we could launch it. And it launched in January, and it kind of was like a word of mouth thing for the most part of the year. And I've really only been talking about it for maybe like 2 months, and it's been just going really well. It's very integrated with your phone systems and your tech system, all your reporting, your lead management, your sales management, transaction management. It's literally like a business in one place, which I feel like we've all looked for, you know, and it's stable. It works. It plays well with other integrations. So I'm just loving it. It's great.
An integration that plays well. I love it.
Yes.
So for me, I think like holiday wise, being in the house wise, I'm at a solid 9. But there's so much. I'm good with making change happen. I'm really good with like change in some parts. But then when I'm in the change, my head kind of goes wacko. So for all of the mamas that are watching that have gotten calls from me because you're a homeschooler, you understand what I'm talking about. And for actually all the moms out there, because at one point we were all homeschooling, and for the most part, there's a lot of just virtual schooling happening. So I think everyone understands this. Right now, I feel like I've been dropped back at the beginning of COVID when we were just starting homeschooling. And this is a choice I made. I chose to homeschool the kids. So I am figuring out the systems around this. I'm talking to other mamas that have done this before, mamas that are starting with me. I'm talking to people in Tennessee, how they do it here. So there's a lot of talking and discussing. I'm putting myself at a 9, like just like because of the excitement, but like mentally, I'm probably more like a 7.5. Just because like I need to have that calmness that only systems can bring me, and the systems will come because I'm just figuring it out. The systems will come, and then the calmness will come.
Yeah.
Real estate wise, we're good. We're working on. We just refied one property. We are working on the renovations and everything for the property that we just took down in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. So that's going really, really well. And it's actually really, really good because if Jason needs to like take a trip to go see our properties, it's like a 3-mile drive, or not a 3-mile, a 3-hour drive to Tennessee instead of a plane trip that he has to hop on. So everything's really good, like business wise too.
I'm excited to see that one turn since I'm in on that deal.
Yes. Exciting. So today we're going to talk about masterminds and mentorship. We're talking about this because number one, Melissa, you just jumped in from another mastermind. So even no matter what level you are in, and Melissa, you've been doing real estate for like, what, 15 years? Or was it more like 20 years? 50?
Muted. You're muted. Unmute.
You're muted. Mute.
There we go.
Sorry, I had to mute myself because I was having a coughing moment. I forgot what I was going to say.
How long have you been in real estate?
Oh, like forever. What, 17 years? 17 years, yeah.
It's close. Between 15 and 20. So no matter how long you've been doing it, there's always room to mastermind. There's always somebody that knows something that you don't know that you need to figure out. So let's talk about that because we all met in a mastermind.
We did meet in a mastermind. I'm really excited about this one because it's a little different. It's not just a real estate mastermind because, been there, done that. And that's kind of something that I'm still actively working on, but it's not like top priority for me right now. What I'm really focused on is, launching the coaching. Picked up some awesome clients. Man, I cannot tell y'all how much I love every single person that I've worked with. Like, it makes it so fun. It's so like, I met with one of them the other day, and it just happened to be that she's actually like not too far from me. And so I went with her, and like, I wasn't even planning on doing this, but I really wanted to, but I went and walked a property with her that she just bought. It's her first deal. And I just love, and it was like her and her mom, and we are like the same people. So that it was like my people already. And then we all ended up going to lunch together, and it was just really fun and educational, and just really like I had a really great day with them. I'm thinking
to myself, Melissa, sorry to interrupt, but Stephanie, I know you're thinking about this too. Imagine if you had Melissa as your coach walking your first property ever for all of our listeners. Imagine if you had like this top-notch coach, been doing real estate for 17 years, walk a property with you. That makes me want to cry, like happy tears. Like,
was fun.
your coaching client is so lucky. I hope she's watching right now. So lucky.
Oh, she was like beyond grateful. And again, like it wasn't something that it's not part of my normal thing, but I just felt I just wanted to do it. I liked her. I wanted to do it. My coach will probably be mad at me if he's listening to this that I did it, but I don't care. I had a great time. So it was fun. And then I joined this new mastermind, and the reason why is because there's a few reasons, but one of them is, building a coaching business is not quite the same as building a real estate business. And so that although I have built businesses, started and built them, this is a little different. And so I think it's really important when you're doing something that you've never done before to get help, to find those people that can mentor you and support you and teach you, different things. Like I know some things, but I know I don't know everything by any means, and especially with something like that. And then just like the caliber of people in this mastermind are just like really high. I'm almost kind of like pinching myself if I'm in the room with these people already. It's pretty amazing. And, the big thing too, and I think the biggest thing actually is learning from all these people and then being able to take that information and like help my clients, what I learned about marketing, that I can share, some tips and things, to help them with their business also, even though, they're doing real estate, it's still, learning just how some of the stuff works in the background, and being able to help is going to be beneficial to the people that I work with, I think. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really excited.
Yay.
The better you are, and the better you'll help everybody else be.
Exactly. And knowing that it's okay, no matter how experienced you are, to get help if you need it, get coaching, get a mentor, join a mastermind if you need to, just some place where you can be around like-minded people that are doing the same thing that you're doing, not reinventing the wheel, and just learning all you can from them, and then taking that and putting your own spin on it. And that's really where I'm most excited about, just for my own personal development, is being able to take the stuff that I learn and say, okay, that was cool, but like, how can I make this me? How can I take this little nugget and like make it a Melissa thing?
Yeah.
Awesome. How can I take this nugget and make it a Melissa thing? I mean, we should be thinking about it in that terms for everything that we learn.
Yeah. We don't want to be carbon copies of each other. That's no fun.
Can you share the mastermind group?
Oh, I don't know.
maybe we'll have a special call for that at a later date. Actually, that's something we were just talking about offline. There's going to be some changes with Moms of Real Estate. We have to bring Becca in on the call and make sure we're all of the same mind, of course. But there's going to be a little bit of changes happening. It's going to be for the better, and we're going to be launching all the content that we've taped. I mean, we've been asked a lot. I don't know if you've ladies been asked, but I've been asked a lot, like, where can we find this stuff? I'm like, well, it's kind of on YouTube, because we just kind of started this as a way for us to mentor and to mastermind together. And really, I missed you guys, you ladies. So we're going to be launching everything in one fell swoop. So look for that. It's going to be coming in the new year. We're already working on it. And you'll see some ideas for some marketing coming up. Of course, Stephanie's better at that than I am. So I'll push it. I'll push it through you first. So yeah, mentorship. We met at Seven Figure Flipping, and I was actually just talking to Becca about this, how we all met, and how I really just wanted to be in your all's brains when I first started, because I had joined the group a little later than everyone, especially. I've only started in real estate since 2013, and joining Seven Figures, even though I do large multifamily, but joining Seven Figure Flipping really gave me the permission to succeed when it came to to large multifamily. And all the stuff that I learned, I mean, some people look at large multifamily, and depending on what you're doing with the asset, it's kind of like a long-term flip. There's a lot of different rules, but for all the flippers out there that are thinking about getting into large multifamily, you can use a lot of the mindset and a lot of what you know in flipping will translate into large multifamily. I firmly believe that you need a mentor, no matter what you do, but especially in large multifamily, because there's so much water to tread. And after going through flipping and trying to do it myself, and Jason and I trying to do it ourselves before we joined Seven Figure. Once we joined Seven Figures, it's like the world blew open for us. And all of a sudden we were given the permission to succeed. We were given all these tools. Well, we were given discounts on a bunch of stuff, and like discounts that ended up being tens of thousands of dollars when you look at it. Not to mention the training and the coaching and being able to know these amazing people. So I am due, I know this, I am due to join another mastermind. That's the only reason why I asked you, Melissa, just so I could join in with you. But mentorship has definitely, I don't know if this is the same case for you, Stephanie, but it's definitely taken my life to another level. And I finally got to talk with some of the Seven Figure group as it is now. And it felt like coming home. It felt like coming home, getting to like talk to everyone again and just to like listen into what everyone was doing. And it felt like coming home. And I said so. And it was just like, I felt like tears were going to come out of my eyes because it was so refreshing. And it was so amazing to hear how everybody has grown the last couple of years. And this stuff like that only happens when you join a mastermind that becomes family. And if you join a mastermind, it doesn't feel like they've become family. At least for me, it wouldn't be the right mastermind for me. What do you all feel?
I totally agree. I mean, I think it's funny because coming into real estate, you know, this brand new industry, I mean, my medicine, for example, this is really the only time I've really ever been exposed to mentorship or training, right? Like training for an industry has been in medicine, and that is like standard. You have mentorship and you have a training program through, you know, while you're launching your career. And then as you become independent, you take all that knowledge, right? And you share it with the next group of people, and you apply all that knowledge that you had to try to be a better provider, right? But what was interesting with the real estate industry is that when you first kind of get into it and you first start looking at mentorship and looking at groups, there's almost like this like undertone of like, you shouldn't do it. It's like, people are, you know, gurus and things like, there's like an almost like a negative connotation. And I do think that there are people out there who aren't the right people to follow. But it's such a shame because I'm so used to seeking mentorship and seeking community that I feel like a lot of people are probably missing out of fear, out of like, you know, some of these, they're hearing some of the undertones that are out there and they don't realize what they're missing, you know? And I think that, you know, there's a lot of free content out there in the world too, on YouTube and things, and you can go try to like hunt it, but it's not the same. It's like saying, hey, you want to be a doctor? Just go read that book, you know? And, oh, you can get a book at the library for $15. It's the same thing as going to medical school. No, it's not. You know what I mean? So I just feel like there's like almost this weird undertone that we've got to overcome. And I'm like here to talk about it, right? Like the way that the community has impacted our business and my personal life is incredible. And, you know, like to your point, Peely, that if it doesn't feel like family and it doesn't like link in with you, it's probably not the right group, but there hopefully is another group out there. But I am a strong believer in finding a mentorship program, a coach, or a community that you can join to help open up your world. Because when you're in those groups and when you surround yourself with people like that, it suddenly becomes obtainable. You're like, oh yeah, I can totally do that. You know, it's the same thing with like a medical student. And this is my way my brain works, right? But like you're a medical student and you go and you get exposed to what the world is out there and you're like, oh, these people did it. I can do it too. And like, we're talking brain surgeons and heart surgeons and crazy people, right? Like that path becomes clear. So why can't we use that same type of thought process towards our industry? Of course we can, right? And I've said this so many times before, like when I first started, I didn't even know how to dream big, like dream big. Like I didn't even know what that meant until I got around people who were doing things that I thought were interesting and that inspired me and that I connected with, and that can be an individual basis like that. So how do you avoid the gurus and groups where there's a big tag but not a lot? I mean, I think you vet them by trying to get a personal connection, just seeing if it resonates with you inside and like if it matches your core values.
Yeah, Natalie asked the question, how do you avoid the gurus groups where there is a big tag but not a lot? Go on, Stephanie.
I think that's when you vet them and you do that gut check. Get some references, talk to people who are in the group, connect with their team and see if you get that core value match and that the value proposition is real, and generally I think that social proof and that gut feeling you get is probably the way to avoid it. I mean, I think that there are a lot of like quickie courses out there that you can get. And I would pick community over that time and time again. I don't know about you guys.
Melissa?
Yeah, I think it could go either way. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with a course just to get the educational component, but I think you need both pieces to the puzzle. It's not just the education, it is the community and who you surround yourself with. And there's a different energy when you're in the room with a lot of like-minded people, when you're all, chasing the same goal of, trying to, doing real estate, just as an example, because that's where we're all coming from. Is like when you're in a room with a bunch of other real estate entrepreneurs, that is a different energy than sitting at home in front of your computer taking a course, and there's nothing wrong with that, to get your feet wet and to get information and stuff. But then when you can get around other people and you can discuss what you've learned, you can discuss that information and dissect it and, get other people's opinion on it and find out, well, did you try this? How did that work for you? There's a lot of that in a mastermind, because, the masterminding isn't like always a guru up on stage just teaching you. A true, real good mastermind is a group of people that are coming together, that are sharing their experiences, they're sharing their ideas, they're sharing their knowledge. And then you have to take the pieces that are right for you back home, and implement those things. But if you are never around other people that are doing these things, I think it's a lot more difficult. There's a disconnect between the education part and the implementation part. And I think that's where the community really helps kind of bond all of that together, either, through a community of a mastermind or through a coach or, a mentor.
Yeah, for me, there has to be that connection. And if there isn't, like I always make sure there's a way out. And you make sure that you take that way out within a reasonable amount of time. You can't be with the group for 3 months. I would say after a month, if you don't have that connection and you're not getting, you all know that you're not going to learn real estate or anything really in a month, but you'll be able to create the connections with people. So for me, with like Seven Figures is the best example I have. When I joined Seven Figures, they had a lower level, like not even a lower level group, kind of. Can you guys still hear me? My camera went out.
Can hear you, just can't see you.
It's really weird. I'm going to change this camera. I'm going to let Stephanie, can you take that over? I'm going to fix this.
So you will be able to know basically right away. So I think that's a good point that, can you try something out and see how it feels? But I wouldn't be afraid of a price tag. I know that kind of sounds like almost like a salesy thing to say, but like some of these groups that are high level, they are expensive, but it is like so worth it just to be in a room with people who are doing what you want to do. Like that's invaluable. And then those people become your friends. Like you will have no other chance to get to know them otherwise either. Not only do you have access to information, but you get to have access to high level people that then become your crew. You know what I mean? Like you are the sum of the 5 people that you're around the most, and you have a chance to influence that, And I don't think there's anything wrong with making that investment. And I do also think it creates kind of like this buy-in, like, oh, I gotta get an extra deal out of this because I've invested this. So like, I've got to take the steps. I've got to take, I've got to take some control here and do something with all this information,
I think it's important too, just to like in the vetting process of figuring out like, is it a cultural fit for you, to the thing, like if you're going to drop 20 grand to be in a mastermind, they should be able to give you like a test run or something, like, hey, come to one of our meetings, see how you like it, kind of a thing. Like a good mastermind should allow for something like that. That way you can see the value in the room already, and have some kind of understanding, like who's in here, what are we talking about, how's it structured? Because it is an investment and you have to see it that way too. You want to make a wise investment. If you're going to spend that kind of money, you want to make sure it's the right group for you.
Right.
But it's a very smart investment too, that can have very high returns. If you think about the people that you meet, like all of us, like we've all met, you have the potential to do deals with people, in different places. You have potential, like I know for me, it's even helped my real estate business just as far as like knowing people all over the country. If I get a lead, in some other state, I know who I need to call that lives in that area that, I can bird dog something to, and it's a win-win for everybody. So there's a lot of benefits, besides the education and that part. It can help, transform your business even a little bit, I think, just by being able to know different people. People have money that they're willing to loan. They have resources they're willing to share. Like that kind of stuff is a big part of growing your business too.
Yeah, and that's the point in the end,
That's what I was going to jump into, is that 7-figure flipping had like its level, everyone jump in course. And that was like I think that was at the time was less than $1,000. And then you started kind of up leveling. And now there's, I think 7-figure flipping has like 3 levels before you actually get to the 7-figure, 8-figure group, which is the smart thing to do, because then your investment's different as you start making more money. Natalie asks, of course, Becca's not here, so she can't give you the actual numbers. What's the investment for 7 figures? Is it still active? It is still very much active. I would look it up. It's 7figureflipping.com. Great group of people. Bill Allen is the CEO and owner. I might have gotten his title wrong, but amazing people that we all know. And Becca is you'd be like right there with Becca, because she has, again, I'm gonna go what Becca does wrong. Becca, you need to be here. She's in charge of membership within the group. So yeah, look up 7-figure flipping.
I'm a member too, but as you stay on, your cost decreases. So I don't even know anymore. But whatever it is, I pay it. Worth it.
So Stephanie, give us a little bit more lowdown on how because I am not a current member of 7-figure flipping, although that might be changing soon. Tell us how 7-figure flipping feels like now, because it did change hands. It went from Justin Williams to Bill Allen, who was a student of Justin's and who is awesome.
So to be fair, I'm part of 2 masterminds, and I feel like I get something different from each one. So I'll speak to both. But so 7-figure flipping, and then Sharper Leadership Circle is my other mastermind that I'm part of, and I do a lot of awesome stuff with that. So what 7-figure flipping is for me is kind of this, it feels like the room full of possibilities, right? Like there's people there who are doing generally 3 things, like wholesaling, flipping, and building a rental portfolio. And there's a decent amount of multifamily kind of brewing in there too. And we're talking a lot about marketing ideas, hiring, what people are paying for what kind of positions, and how the market is doing in your area. And then overall business structure, like how do we delegate it out and things like that. But it's mostly like an idea and a connections place. Like this is where I even realized it was possible to do 100 deals in a year. I mean, the first time I heard that, I was like, nuts, why are they lying? And so just seeing what people are able to do, even with small teams, and making those connections and really relating to people in their current journey was kind of what I get out of that. That's what it feels like. And Sharper is very strategy based. It's like, okay, nitty gritty. Like, how do I build a business? How do I run a business? How do I be a better leader? Specific resources with like predictive index and Six Sigma process mapping. And like, I feel like I get what I need from each, but I need both. You know what I mean? Like, I need ideas, and then I need like really drilled in specifics, and I need somebody to help me build my business, or like specifically speak to my business on like a one-to-one thing. So anyway, I hopefully that answered your question, because I could ramble about either, but I feel like they fill a different bucket each, you know?
Awesome. So we are going to actually end it there. Natalie, thank you so very much for asking such amazing questions. Melissa had to jump off. Somebody just showed up at her front door. She had to run. But you know what? This is Moms of Real Estate. So my amazing friend Stephanie, why don't you take us out?
Well, what an amazing year. I'm so glad that we started doing this together. You know, this is definitely the time of year where we reflect on what's happened and kind of year-end stuff, right? Like the wrapping up of a year. And I'm so glad that we got to do this together. And I'm really excited for what 2021 has to offer. I'm really excited about the holidays. And I hope that everybody that's been listening, like gets to buckle down and like spend some really wonderful quality time with their families during the holiday season, and stays healthy, and that we all explode in 2021.
So many blessings to everyone who's listening, and to everyone out there, and to your families. So much love, so much aloha. So much
See you
peace.
guys next year.
Oh yes, we are not coming on for Christmas. We are not coming on for the New Year's. So we will see you next year. Bye, everyone.
Yay. Bye.